ElephantSQL provides managed database as a service. It allows you to start a PostgreSQL database in minutes. Why use ElephantSQL? Setting up and managing databases can be expensive, especially if all you need is a small setup to start a hobby project. ElephantSQL allows you to start quickly and cheaply. Today we will set up the database for a sales organization on ElephantSQL using Python. Let's begin. You need to download the code repository to your computer. The repository is hosted on GitHub. Make a note of the link. You can download the code repository as a zip file from GitHub. If you are familiar with GitHub, you can clone this as well. Before we dive into the code repository, let's do the required setup. You can follow the below instructions in the README file of the repository. You need Python and some packages to run this code. To check if your computer already has Python installed, try this command on the terminal Mac, or command prompt Windows. Mac comes pre-installed with Python. Windows users, though, will need to install Python. To install Python on your Windows machine, follow the instructions in the YouTube link. Go ahead, pause this video to get this done. The default Python installation may not have some of the packages needed to run this code. Install the required packages using the pip command on the terminal or command prompt, as shown. Pause the video and install the packages. To access ElephantSQL services, you need to open an account. Log in to ElephantSQL via your Google or GitHub account. Create a new database instance. Give the instance a name, choose the free plan and select the region. Review and create the instance. Go back to the home screen and click on the database instance you just created. See the instance details. You will need these details to connect to the database instance from Python. Now that the database instance is up, let us move into Python to create the database tables. The code repository needs a configuration file that stores the details of the database instance you have created. It is important to keep the details in a config file, separate from the main code. This ensures that as I pass the code to you via GitHub, I do not compromise my instance details. The GitHub repository has a file called config-template.py. Open this file. Edit the file to add the details of your database instance from the Details tab on ElephantSQL. Go ahead, pause the video to do it. Save the file as config.py. We are all set to run the code. Before we do that, let us understand the business context of the database we are going to create. We are going to create the database for a sales organization. Like any sales organization, this one has customers, products, orders, payments and employees. The data is stored in what is called a relational database. Each entity, like customer, is stored in a table. The relationship between the various entities, or tables, is shown in the picture. Now for the exciting part. Running the code. To run the code, go to the command prompt on Windows or terminal on Mac. Navigate to the directory with the create_drop_tables.py file. Ensure that the same directory also has the config.py file. Run the code using the command shown. The code reads and passes the SQL statements from the table_creation.sql file. It then executes the SQL statements, one by one. Finally, the tables in the database are reported. Notice the tables created. You can also delete the tables by using the table_deletion.sql file. Exciting, isn't it? Let us understand the code a bit more to wrap this up. The code is in the create_drop_tables.py file. As always, the code run starts with the main function. The try block passes the arguments and gets the name of the SQL file. The parse SQL function passes the file to extract the individual SQL statements. The execute_SQL function then runs the SQL statements, one by one. The changes are committed to the database. Finally, the reportDB status function lists out all the tables available in the database. You can check if the tables were actually created. Great, we are done here.